running downhill is a very bad idea. You're going to be buried in and carried along with debris.
Sliding down the hill.
Debris flows have been recorded moving over 35 miles an hour, far faster than a human can run. That's why spotting them early is so important.
You're parked right there.
Be aware of your surroundings. If you feel an earthquake coming on and you're out in a wilderness area, recognize that areas higher around you might have a landslide.
Heavy rain isn't always a reliable indicator because a landslide could break free days after the rain has stopped. But there are other things to look for.
Oftentimes, landslides will give early warning signs that they're about to happen. They could be as simple as a crack in your foundation or a big crack in your sidewalk or driveway. When they start, landslides make an incredible amount of noise. You'll hear trees popping and cracking and boulders rolling and rushing. This is the time to evacuate.
Know the warning signs.
Oh my God.
And if you do find yourself downhill from a wall of earth and mud, run to the side and don't stop until you are far, far away.
And developing this morning on AMHQ weekend. Water worries are on the rise this holiday weekend as too much rain pounds parts of the southern plains. Right now, more than 20 million people are under a flood threat.
Plus, the 7th weekend in a row, we're tracking severe weather. We got hail, wind, isolated tornadoes, and flash flooding. We'll let you know who's in the storm zone this weekend.
And as millions of you hit the road this holiday weekend, we'll show you the places where Mother Nature may delay your trip or you have to go to that Plan B altogether.
And you probably already know this stuff. I mean, come on, Memorial Day does mark the unofficial start to summer. And as we head into the work week, next week, we've got a bit of a heat wave that's going to be greeting you with open arms. All that and more coming up right now on AMHQ Weekend. And major flooding across Wichita Falls, Texas, forcing out about hundreds of people, forcing them to be evacuated from their homes. The flooding threat continues today. Now, city officials are telling us that residents need to monitor weather forecasts to stay ahead of this big threat. Hello and welcome to AMHQ Weekend. It is Saturday, May 23rd, 2015. I'm Reynolds Wolf.
And I'm Kelly Cass here alongside the doctor, Dr. Greg Postel here in the studio to get you caught up with everything you need to know for this Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, you know what? Let's look at the big picture because we got all kinds of stories to talk about. One of them is, let's see, what do we got? What's number one on the docket here?
I'm guessing it's going to be your flood threat.
There you go. Let's talk about that.
My gosh, what an ugly bullseye. We're talking some places that could get well over maybe 3 to 5, maybe as much as 7 inches of rainfall in very quick duration, which of course means flooding, all but a certainty.
Yeah, like we need rain there.
I know, exactly.
Across the Red River Valley. We're also talking about the threat for severe weather, Greg.
Yeah, I know. We have all modes of severe weather in play today: hail, high winds, and tornadoes. So that's a big deal. Stay tuned for that.
Absolutely. Then the other big story is something you're not going to see, but rather what you're going to feel. The warm-up for millions of you along the eastern seaboard from New York to Boston, southward of the nation's capital. Temperatures, boom, going up anywhere from 10 to 25 degrees above average.
You know, being from upstate New York, though, we like that kind of heat for Memorial Day weekend.
Right.
Get those pools ready to go and warm up that water temperature, right? Well, the rain, though, just keeps on coming down. This is in Corpus Christi, Texas, where heavy rains have caused major flooding. This has been their wettest May on record, picking up more than 12 inches. And you can see a lot of people have been trying to drive through the high floodwaters, and it hasn't worked. So just remember, another way to get around it, otherwise you end up in trouble, like this guy right here, guys.
My goodness, look at that. See how they're just piling up. What a horrible thing to see, Kelly.
As a matter of fact, guys, we are still looking at the threat for more flooding. We have flood watches in effect from Oklahoma through Texas, including San Antonio, including the Dallas-Fort Worth area. This is quite the change from about a year ago when we were talking about drought in these areas across the southern plains. We've been praying for rain for quite some time. Boy, did we get it, but now we've got to watch out for flooding. A lot of the rivers, the creeks, the streams are all running very high, especially the Red River here that cuts between Oklahoma and Texas. Dallas, you're included in that flash flash flood watch, and no wonder why. Look at this. Our soil is so full of moisture after all the rain we picked up since May 1st. We're talking, look at this, nearly 2 feet of rain in parts of Oklahoma and northern Texas. That's that lighter shade of pink and white. Even Dallas, you picked up quite a bit of rainfall over the last, say, several weeks. So let's take a look here, Oklahoma City. This is our third wettest May on record. So far, we're at 14.5 inches of rain, and we're not even done with the month yet. We still have another week to go here. And here's a look at, we're also dealing with some wet weather and stormy weather. Eastern New Mexico, we're tracking a severe thunderstorm right there down toward the southeast of Del Rio, Texas. That is an active flash flood warning. That means it's not just a watch. It's either happening now, flooding, or it's about to happen. That means it's imminent danger here. So central thunderstorms, we'll be tracking that along Interstate 40, I-35, I-20. If you are doing any traveling this holiday weekend, and I know a lot of you are, you definitely need to watch out because there's going to be a lot of water ponding on the roadways. Right, guys?
Absolutely. Let's see here for a second. Let's I bet 3 or 4 weekends in a row we've been dealing with the same kind of thing, the same subject. You know, it's almost the point we could actually replay last weekend's show, air it this morning, because the same areas are being affected again, aren't they, Greg?
Yeah, I think the number's more like 7, Reynolds. I mean,
wow.
Right? It seems like it's been forever. Let's have a look across the high plains right now. We got a shot for severe weather there from western Kansas all the way down across central Texas. Again, Reynolds, again. And it's already started. Look at this cluster of storms right here across parts of the high plains. We do have that one severe thunderstorm warning out for eastern New Mexico counties of Curry, Quay, and Roosevelt. This is until 3:45 a.m. Mountain Time for high winds and some small hail, perhaps wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour there. In the big picture, we've got that trough in the jet stream, a big dip right out in here. And you know what happens when you have a trough in the west and the ridge in the east? Well, in between, you get severe weather oftentimes this time of year. Here, what I did was I call this upper level forcing. So what it is the upper level sort of part of the atmosphere that wants to lift the air. So right out in here, the air masses are getting lifted, and we're starting to see that eruption of thunderstorm activity right there. With that warm and humid air flowing northward out of the Gulf of Mexico, that lift and the dry line in place, the dry line right here, look at this. That's going to be a focus for more thunderstorm activity later on today. Have all those ingredients stacked up one by one, and you get the chance for severe weather. So let's time it out now across the high plains. You can see big storms all the way across the Texas Panhandle and western Kansas. These could be severe, not just late in the day, but now. That is going to continue throughout the afternoon. Again, the possibility of tornadoes is real with torcons as high as 30% chance for tornado within 50 miles of a location. Kelly, back to you.
Another reason is stay tuned to the Weather Channel all weekend long.
There you go, folks. Well, get ready for a heat wave that's going to be sweeping much of the East Coast coming up this week. We're talking temperatures are going to be up in the 80s and even some 90s, Kelly.
That's right. The humidity, that is going to be on the rise as well. So a lot of you are going to want to get in that water, although the water temperature is still kind of chilly.
Absolutely. Hey, do you think these guys mind? Turtles. Take a look at them. Loggerhead turtles. They're making tracks on the beach in Key West. This is the very beginning of the turtle nesting season, don't you know? And we're going to be watching the hatching. That's going to continue all the way to October, Kelly.
I did not know that.
The more you know.
All right. Well, we want to show you how amazing it is out there. Send us your pictures and video. We'll show it right here, AMHQ Weekend.
Before space stations, before moonwalks, we lit that candle and shot to the stars. Walk among our most powerful creations at the Rocket Garden, one of thousands of exciting things to explore at Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex in Orlando. Always exploring.
As the next system moves in, make sure your vehicle is prepared. Rain, mud, dirt, and sand. With the advanced technology of WeatherTech floor liners, your vehicle is protected against the elements. Laser measured for a perfect fit, front, back, and even up the sides. Simply go to WeatherTech.com and order your ultimate vehicle protection today. Or call 1-800-CarMats. Stay one step ahead of the weather with WeatherTech.
The Men's Warehouse Memorial Day sale is going on now. Clearance suits are on sale for $149.99. Clearance dress shirts for $29.99. Plus, buy one, get one free on even more. Only at Men's Warehouse.
Are you still getting heartburn flare-ups? Time for a new routine. Try Nexium 24-Hour, the latest choice for frequent heartburn. Get complete protection. Nexium Level Protection.
It's time to get your hands on a Ryobi. During Ryobi days at the Home Depot, there's new lower prices and special buys on the tools you need. Ryobi One Plus, the one system that delivers more. Available only at the Home Depot. Now get this 4-piece lithium-ion super combo kit for only $129.
Before Mars, before the moon, we did the impossible again and again. Live the future of space travel at Exploration Space, one of thousands of exciting things to explore at Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex in Orlando. Always exploring.
Monday morning, rain and severe weather threat to start off your holiday week, but we'll be up early for your Memorial Day. Wake up with Al and AMHQ Monday morning at 5 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 74 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, sunshine and clouds mixed. High 86. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy. Low 78. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Sunday, sunshine and clouds mixed. A stray thunderstorm is possible. High 87. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Friday on AMHQ, survival expert Creek Stewart takes me and my buddy Sam Champion out into the woods with one objective: to stay alive.
Hey Jim, this thing's got an espresso machine. It's awesome.
Sam and Jim in the woods, Friday morning on AMHQ.
Champion, this is not camping.
Well, what a great weekend to spend the time outside. We're looking at Key West right now. I know a lot of you are going to be out there soaking up the sunshine and enjoying the beaches in South Florida. A lot of families camping at Long Key State Park, perhaps, graced with 90-degree heat right through Memorial Day Monday. So it looks like it's going to be a pretty decent weekend overall for much of the East, Reynolds.
Absolutely. Looks good there. Hey, also looks pretty darn good in Philadelphia. Calling for a high of 71 degrees today in the city of brotherly love. It's going to be going up, though, to 82 degrees tomorrow, and then up you go. A long stretch of 90s actually heading your way that's going to put really in the first heat wave of the year for much of the eastern seaboard. We're going to show you exactly why and how it's all going to happen. So what we're going to be dealing with in many places, again, will be the temperatures going from these 80s into the 90s, but there's something more to it. You're also going to have the higher humidity, which is going to make it feel a bit steamy under the collar. The reason for this is pretty simple. You got this big ridge of high pressure, and well, high pressure is a compressing effect on the atmosphere, not so much in terms of but it's almost like the lid on top of a pot. Keeps things nice and warm for you. However, the other factor is going to be that moisture coming in from the south, which is going to stack those dew points. So yeah, all of a sudden we're making that transition from spring to summer, and notice those high temperatures going in the 70s and 80s, 91 degrees along the tidal basin in Washington, D.C. By Tuesday, we go up a bit more in some 80s, 87 in New York. Philadelphia with 90 degrees above average there. And then we get into Wednesday, and yes, more of the same 3 days in a row. The trifecta getting up in the 90s one more time. New York City with 87, 14 degrees above normal. All right, Kelly, let's send it back to you.
And Reynolds, as you know, heat is a key ingredient for the development of severe weather, including tornadoes. In case you missed it, earlier this week, Jim Cantori took us inside a developing tornado from the safe confines of the Weather Channel lab. This is something you'll only see right here on the Weather Channel. Again, there's no other place in the world that will bring you this kind of visual and technical analysis. Here's Jim with the anatomy of a tornado.
When you think about a lab, you think people make things in here. Well, this is our weather lab, and so we're going to make weather. So let's talk about tornadoes, tornado genesis, and the things that we look for, certainly when you get a tornado. Of course, you see those bright images on the radar like we have in through here, right? There's always one thing that stands out to us as meteorologists when we're looking for a tornado. It's a little appendage on the southern flank of the storm called a hook echo. And there it is right there. That's the part where all the action's going on. The air is coming into the storm. You're getting at least the way of a tornado forming. But we know these aren't flat, right? Thunderstorms go up 40, 50, 60,000 feet in the atmosphere. So let's pull this up into the sky. Of course, you got strong upper level winds. So typically these storms tilt a little bit. But look at this. If you go down to the base of the storm, underneath that, there's the tornado. in scale, there's so much, I mean, it's so much smaller than the actual supercell itself, the rotating thunderstorm. But how do you get from this big, massive amount of rotation to a little area that's rotating that's so violent that can produce winds anywhere from 70 to potentially even 300 miles per hour? Well, let's talk about that. Let's get rid of the base of the cloud and talk a little bit about the tornado. And one of the things that researchers have really found over the past several years that we think we can pretty much key in on the initiation of the thunderstorm is what happens when those strong upper level winds actually get caught in the downdraft. They can produce a feature, what we call the rear flank downdraft. And when that rear flank downdraft comes out, and if it's not too cold, all right, you can actually get an equilibrium with the air that's coming in with the inflow and create the circulation. You see what's going on here? This is the hook. This is essentially the hook. These are the features and the dynamics that are going on within the hook of the storm. There are other things, too, we look at. If you're out in the plains and you have no communication whatsoever, you don't know there's a tornado warning, when you see a lowering of the cloud base, we call a wall cloud, and this can be very small or very, very wide, when that cloud base starts to lower and you see violent motion going on, there's a potential of eventually getting a tornado out of that. And the worst thing you want to see is the debris cloud. That's down here toward the surface. You've got humans, you've got cars, trees, homes, anything can get caught up in that, as we know, and you can have massive amounts of destruction depending on just how strong it is. The physics that are going on within the tornado itself are simply amazing. In the stronger storms, research has detected that you have rapid rising air motion just outside that tornado funnel, and in the inside of it you actually have sinking motion. The United States is an amazing place because nowhere on Earth do we have more tornadoes on average per year. We average about 1,300 of them, all right? And that is 10 times more than any other country in the world. Tornado genesis, it's a wild thing and a wild ride, especially if you get to see one in real life. And I'll tell you, I've been up close and personal to a few of these, a lot closer than I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
Are you like me? Are you thinking that's one of the coolest things you've ever seen?
It's pretty awesome. And the lab is just fine, by the way. They cleaned up after that.
Thank heavens. And thank heavens Jim was okay, too. Hey, you're going to be okay this weekend, but be prepared for warmer times. Question is, what is the hottest Memorial Day on record for New York City? That answer, moments away.
The Great Outdoors brought to you by Cabela's. Get to Cabela's for all your hunting, fishing, and your nature.
I take these out to put in Dr. Scholl's Active Series insoles. They help reduce wear and tear on my legs because they have triple zone protection and reduce shock by 40%. So I feel like I'm ready to take on anything.
Where you get your weather matters.
This is a large and dangerous tornado.
Real local.
We are live in Oklahoma.
Real accurate.
This one's going to have some precipitation with it.
Real experts.
Wow, that's the leading edge of the thunderstorm.
This is basically what makes the Weather Channel
Keep the Weather Channel on. Here at the Weather Channel.
The Weather Channel is out in full force today.
Only the weather.
At Tire Kingdom, get Memorial Day savings the entire month of May. Buy 3 tires, get 1 free instantly when you get them installed. Choose from Goodyear, Continental, Cooper, Nino, and more. Get your Memorial Day savings now at your neighborhood Tire Kingdom, home of the lowest tire price guarantee. Buy 3 tires, get 1 free. Tire Kingdom Service Centers. That's all you need.
It's always a good morning when fresh Florida blueberry pancakes are on the menu. Whisk together the creamy batter and ricotta cheese. Now bring on the blueberries. Perfection. Serve with honey butter and blueberry cream, and of course, fresh Florida orange juice. Now there's an unforgettable breakfast. And that's how Florida blueberry pancakes become a morning tradition. Look for the Fresh from Florida label when you shop. Remember, delicious is always served fresh from Florida.
Monday morning, rain and severe weather threat to start off your holiday week, but we'll be up early for your Memorial Day. Wake up with Al and AMHQ Monday morning at 5 on the Weather Channel.
Stay tuned for your Memorial Day Local on the 8s, brought to you by Lowe's. Never stop improving.
Kick summer off right with great Memorial Day deals at Lowe's. Like $10 off all paint and primer and stain and sealant in one via online or mail-in rebate. Plus 5 bags of premium mulch for $10. So hurry into Lowe's now for big summer savings.
Need new tires? Right now at Pep Boys, when you get 3 Falcon, Cooper, or Hankook tires, you get the 4th tire free instantly. Plus, get no interest and paid in full within 12 months on your Pep Boys credit card. Trust the boys to get you there.
Kick summer off right with great Memorial Day deals at Lowe's. Like $10 off all paint and primer and stain and sealant in one via online or mail-in rebate. Plus 5 bags of premium mulch for $10. So hurry into Lowe's now for big summer savings.
Currently in our area, 75 degrees with thunderstorms in the area. Today, sunshine and clouds mixed. High 86. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy. Low 78. Winds east at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Sunday, sunshine and clouds mixed. A stray thunderstorm is possible. High 87. Here's our 7-day outlook.
All right, we asked you a question before the break. We've had some time to think about this one. What is the hottest temperature ever recorded on Memorial Day in New York City? Is it A, 89, B, 96, or C, 92? Reynolds?
I would have actually, now looking at these numbers, I probably would have gone with A, and I would have been absolutely wrong. We had 92 degrees hit back in, let's see, May 30th of 1942,
Ooh.
so it's been a while.
It's been a long time, yeah.
There
We're
you
going to
go.
be hot this weekend, too, but not until that Monday, and even then it's only the low 80s. So today, nice and cool, 69 degrees. Sunday, not bad at all.
Absolutely. Overall, good-looking forecast. You know, the same could be said for Buffalo. It's a cold start to your Memorial Day weekend. We're calling for a high of only 50 degrees in Buffalo, while many people waking up to low temperatures that are near the freezing point. There is actually a frost advisory that's going to be in effect until 9 o'clock this morning. So bring your jacket if you plan on going to Niagara Falls for the Memorial Day parade. Should be a wonderful time. It's going to be stepping off at 11 a.m., starting at the City Market, but it ends at Veterans Monument in Hyde Park. So pick a spot along the parade route. Should be a lot of fun. And let me tell you, that is one of many great things happening around the nation.
Look at that beautiful shot. Look at
nice?
that pretty blue right there. Isn't that gorgeous?
It's spectacular.
All right, great weather for western New York State and a lot of places across the east.
Yeah, a lot of places are going to be celebrating this weekend, from fire and grills to taking a day at the beach. A lot to do out there.
That's for sure. And for the Hamptons, it's a weekend-long celebration, of course, looking live at East Hampton, all the way out there in eastern Long Island. Looks like a great start.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be great. This is actually just an hour west in Bethpage. They've got the annual air show going on. That's going to be at Jones Beach. And then later in the show, we're going to speak with some organizers that are going to brace for really some massive, massive crowds out there, Kelly.
Oh, they pack it in. Oh, yeah. Get your spot early on the beach. That's for sure. We're going to take a live look at Chicago now. Of course, a lot going on here, too. If you're heading out to Navy Pier or maybe checking out the White Sox that are home this weekend. It is a chilly start, though. I got to say, we're a little chilly out there with those temperatures in the 50s. But we are going to see those highs warming up to the upper 70s later on. And then eventually we'll be talking storms for the Windy City. But it looks like that's going to hold off until early next week. It looks like the first half of this Memorial Day weekend looking just fine in Chicago. We've got the clouds and the sunshine today. 77 degrees. Tomorrow looks like more clouds than sun, I'm afraid. 74 degrees. But then on Monday, that's the day we got to watch out for some storms. Kind of hit or miss with those high temperatures pushing 80 degrees. That humidity, that's going to be going up as well. We've got all that moisture coming in from the Gulf. That's going to extend up into the upper Midwest. We've got our jet stream in play as we head into early next week, as well as this dip continues to head toward the east, and that sparks off not only thunderstorms, but some of them could be severe. We've got the red on the map here in eastern Colorado over towards western Kansas, Chicago, Kansas City. So far, so good, but the storms are knocking on your door there in KC. They'll be here by tomorrow, and Chicago looks like the storms are going to hold off until Monday. There you see the green kind of moving up into the Great Lakes region. Winds, lightning, that kind of thing, Reynolds.
My goodness. All right, folks, so you heard Kelly. You know that once again, rain is going to impact so many people this holiday weekend. And we also know, this is amazing, a typical raindrop from more than a mile in the sky makes a long way coming to the ground. But have you ever thought about how fast it falls before it hits your umbrella or maybe even your head? Well, in this edition of Brainstorm, we examine the speed of rain.
A raindrop's journey to the ground begins high in the sky when water vapor in a cloud condenses, turning to liquid. It then starts to cling to tiny atmospheric dust particles and forms a minuscule water droplet. As this droplet moves through the cloud, it consumes other tiny droplets that have formed in just the same way. This droplet then grows as it moves, and when it reaches 4,000ths of a single milligram in weight, it graduates to raindrop status, finally heavy enough to begin its descent to the ground. And as our raindrop falls, it reaches what's called terminal velocity. That's when the force of the air resistance pushing upwards balances with the force of gravity pulling down. It's the maximum speed a falling object can actually reach. And in case you were wondering, that speed varies with the size of the object. In this case, a typical raindrop growing to about 0.08 of an inch in diameter reaches terminal velocity at just 15 miles per hour. That's 8 times slower than the terminal velocity of a skydiver. And if a raindrop is smaller, it will fall even slower. During a drizzle, those drops are about the size of a single grain of salt, and they reach terminal velocity at just 5 miles per hour. That's the same speed as a light jog for you or me. It's a speed so slow that you might even see those drops moving upwards if caught in an updraft. So to put the falling speeds in perspective, the average snowflake falls at 2 to 3 miles per hour, while heavier hail, measuring an inch in diameter, can travel at more than 40 miles an hour. And now you've been brainstormed. Sam Champion, the Weather Channel.
My goodness.
Oh, but too many of those raindrops? We got a problem in Texas.
Absolutely. You know, it just keeps getting worse. We get more rain that's on the way. We're going to tell you what the greatest risk for more flash flooding is going to take place. That's in just a few moments.
Great weekend destinations brought to you by Bush's Beans. What's your favorite flavor?
1 can of Bush's Beans. Home style sounds good, but country style not without its charms. Brown sugar hickory? Who says no to hickory? New sweet heat? Sure. There are no rules here.
Bush's Beans. What's your favorite flavor?
Nice job, guys. And don't worry, this beauty will last and last because I'm the only paint primer in one with Easy Wash formula, which you may find pretty handy someday.
Olympic One paint with exclusive Easy Wash formula stands up to 1,500 scrubs. Olympic, simply done. Exclusively at Lowe's. This Memorial Day, stop by Lowe's and save $10 per gallon on Olympic's best paints and stains. Just another way Olympic makes it easy every step of the way.
When a moment spontaneously turns romantic, why pause to take a pill? And why stop what you're doing to find a bathroom? Cialis for daily use is the only daily tablet approved to treat erectile dysfunction, so you can be ready anytime the moment is right. Plus, Cialis treats the frustrating urinary symptoms of BPH, like needing to go frequently, day or night. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions and medicines and ask if your heart is healthy enough for sex. Do not take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as it may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Do not drink alcohol in excess. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, get medical help right away for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease or loss in hearing or vision, or any symptoms of an allergic reaction, stop taking Cialis and get medical help right away. Ask your doctor about Cialis for daily use. Insurance coverage has expanded nationally, and you may now be covered. Contact your health plan for the latest information.
Joseph A. Bank presents the Memorial Day sale. All sport coats, sportswear, and pants in the store. Purchase one item and receive any 2 items free. Sale ends Monday. Joseph A. Bank, the new tradition since 1905.
Friday on AMHQ, survival expert Creek Stewart takes me and my buddy Sam Champion out into the woods with one objective: to stay alive.
Hey, Jim, this thing's got an espresso machine. It's awesome.
Sam and Jim in the Woods, Friday morning on AMHQ.
Champion, this is not camping.
Currently in our area, 75 degrees with thunderstorms in the area. Today, sunshine and clouds mixed. High 86. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy. Low. Sunday, sunshine and clouds mixed. A stray thunderstorm is possible. High 87. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Here we go. I told you, we're going to bust out of this drought.
Keep watching with us this morning because we're all watching history together.
Oh my God, these cows are sitting right here.
What a horrendous week of weather has been for millions of Americans, especially in parts of the central and southern plains. And here we are ramping it back up again. Welcome back to AMHQ Weekend. It is Saturday, May 23rd. I'm Reynolds Wolf.
And I'm Kelly Cass here along with Dr. Greg Postel. And today's Talk Like an Expert has a bit of a tropical feel to it, Greg.
It does. And you might think, what does the tropics in the Pacific have anything to do with our weather? Well, how about that? It does. You know what? The word that we're going to be talking about, or the words, are El Nino. Yes, we've heard that, the Nino, right?
Nino.
Yes, indeed.
And you know what? Some of the enhanced thunderstorm activity that you see there on your screens right there may be related to El Nino, and that actually has impacts here in our weather over North America. We'll talk about that at 50 past the hour.
Okay, thank you, El Jefe. Yeah. We're going to be chatting El Nino.
El Reynolds.
Exactly. Hey, folks, say good morning to 3 great patriotic cities this Saturday. You're looking live at 3 good ones. You've got New York City, of course, where the Fleet Week is in full swing, now in its 27th year. Can you believe they've been doing it that long? Yeah, a time-honored celebration honoring sailors, Marines, and Coast Guardsmen. Then you've got Dallas, Texas. That's on the right. City's Memorial March. That's going to be in Reverchon Park. And then Kansas City, your Memorial Day ceremony is actually going to be on Monday, and it'll be right in front of Memory Hall. Should be a beautiful event there too. But will the weather cooperate? That's going to be the big issue. And what's going to be really interesting, Kelly, you take a look at the Sunday snapshot. My gosh, a lot of red there, a lot of severe weather possibilities for us.
I mean, red, patriotic, I guess, right, for Memorial Day weekend. So. But we want you to be aware that there could be damaging winds, large hail. Can't rule out the possibility of tornadoes.
You're absolutely right about that. We've got so much. The Gulf of Mexico is wide open. A lot of moisture coming through. You have the lifting mechanism of the area low pressure, the frontal boundary. Daytime heating is going to play a little bit of a part too, but my goodness, what a mess.
Major flooding is major news here too, because we've had a lot of issues with several inches of rain, nearly 2 feet of rain since May 1st in some areas.
Indeed. It looks like we might have quite a bit more in days to come. Take a look at some of the video that we have out of North Texas right now. This is actually over the Trinity River in Denton County. River really just huge. Look at it. Look at how it's climbing up there, Kelly.
Yeah, the river about 4.5 feet above flood stage, and with more rain on the way, we do have concern that that river will not be able to hold it all, at least within its banks. So already water from that river has submerged roads and unfortunately flooded hundreds of homes. And we all know what a mess that can be and how long it can take to recover from a flood like that, because you've got such the mess and even mold that can develop in the wake of a flood too. So here's a look at the Trinity River, where we've been, and we've gotten up to the moderate flood flood stage category. This was last Monday, and now here we are in minor flooding. But again, our forecast crest is about 34.5 feet, so we could have some issues again on some of the roads nearby and some of the neighborhoods as well. Here's a look at the current radar, and fortunately getting a little bit of a break along the Trinity River, even the Red River, not seeing a whole lot. However, we do have some storms that are firing up across the eastern part of New Mexico, working their way into Texas, and at times these storms have been severe during the early morning hours as well. So we're going to track that rain as it continues to head eastward into Texas, into Oklahoma, along with that dip in the jet stream and that little spin right there. That is our storm system that really could get some of those storms going and turn severe in places like Moore, Oklahoma, Oklahoma City, right on down towards Abilene. A lot of you are traveling this holiday weekend. Be careful traveling 20. You could get hit with some hail on the windshield, and those windshield wipers going fast to keep up with the rain right along 35 from Oklahoma City through Dallas. That's your forecast for tomorrow. And then as we head towards Memorial Day Monday itself, unfortunately, guys, it looks like more rain on already saturated ground.
My goodness, you know, rain certainly one big part of the story. Hail, another. Severe storms pelting Colorado with hail. This is just north of Colorado Springs, where there was so much that it completely covered much of the highway. More storms are going to be in the mix today. And Dr. Greg Postel is with us to talk more about today's severe threat. Dr. Greg, again, it looks like some of it underway right now, not waiting for the afternoon heating. It's underway as we speak.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings already today across parts of eastern New Mexico. Right now, we have some big thunderstorms moving into the panhandle of Texas, Reynolds, closing in on the Amarillo area right in here. These aren't being warned for severe weather in terms of high winds or hail, but I'll tell you what, there's some Boeing structures in here suggesting that there's some pretty strong winds aloft that may be trying to work their way to the ground. So Amarillo, Dalhart, probably you're through with it in Dalhart, but other locations in the north part of the panhandle, watch out for some strong winds and maybe some small hail as this cluster of storms races on off toward the northeast. Look at the big picture though, right? You have that trough in the west, pretty significant dip in the jet stream right out in here. That is what the jet stream looks like. And associated with that, there are little ripples inside of that jet stream that want to lift the atmosphere. And what I did was I shaded those right here. And you can see that the shading, I call it the upper level forcing, the lift in the atmosphere, the mechanism that does that is really closing in now on the high plains. So that's part of the reason why we already have that severe thunderstorm warning earlier today, and we've got those storms ongoing now near Amarillo. We will have that moisture surge northward out of the Gulf of Mexico today, so this is a big deal. This is going to add fuel to those storms so that even severe now, they'll probably strengthen as we move through the afternoon hours, get a little bit of daytime heating, the instability kicks in, and there we go. Look at these storms here, all the way from, say, northern Kansas. Goodland might be a good spot here with heavy rain all the way down through Wichita, the I-35 corridor, down almost to Old Mexico, guys. This is going to be a long duration event today. A lot of, unfortunately, heavy rain for Texas, but the possibility of severe weather, hail, high winds, and tornadoes with torcons of 3 out for the region. Kelly and Reynolds, back to you guys.
My goodness, talking about an area that's been seeing so much, and again, more flooding seems imminent.
Yeah, the pattern just continues to be very unsettled across the southern plains, so we're going to continue to talk about this serious flood threat, putting over 20 million Americans at risk this Memorial Day weekend.
That's right, from San Antonio to Dallas, Oklahoma City to Kansas City. These are all spots where you're going to have to deal with travel troubles on one major interstate right in the thick of it. We're going to talk about that, plus when tornadoes strike, many people evacuate and then very few rush in.
And of course, it is Memorial Day weekend. We're going to test your minds here. I know it's early on a Saturday, but let's take a look at this question. This was the last time it rained on Memorial Day. Is it 2001, 2006, or 2012?
The Men's Warehouse Memorial Day sale is going on now. Clearance suits are on sale for $149.99. Clearance dress shirts for $29.99. Plus, buy one, get one free on even more. Only at Men's Warehouse.
Fact. Advil is not only strong, it's gentle on your body too. No wonder doctors and patients have trusted Advil for their tough pains for over 30 years. Relief doesn't get any better than this. Advil.
I've got plans, and this is my baby right now. So it's just not the right time to get pregnant. That's why I chose Skyla. Skyla is the small, flexible IUD that prevents pregnancy for up to 3 years. So for me, there are no daily pills or monthly refills. I got my Skyla placed in just a few minutes at my OBGYN's office. And if I want to try to get pregnant, I can get it removed whenever I want.
If you have a pelvic infection, get infections easily, or have certain cancers, don't use Skyla. Less than 1% of users get a serious infection called PID. If you have persistent pelvic or stomach pain, or if Skyla comes out, tell your doctor. Skyla may attach or go through the uterus and cause other problems. Pregnancy while using Skyla is uncommon, but can be life-threatening and may result in loss of pregnancy or fertility. Ovarian cysts may occur, but usually disappear. Bleeding and spotting may increase in the first 3 to 6 months and remain irregular. Periods over time usually become shorter, lighter, or may stop. Skyla does not protect against HIV or STDs.
Talk to your OBGYN about making the move to Skyla.
Check with your insurance to find out if you can get Skyla at no cost.
Why do we do it? Why do we spend every waking moment thinking about people? Why are we so committed to keeping you connected? Why combine performance with a conscience? Why innovate for a future without accidents? Why do any of it? Why do all of it? Because if it matters to you, it's everything to us. The XC60 crossover from Volvo. Lease the well-equipped Volvo XC60 today. Visit your local Volvo showroom for details.
Let's do this. Let's build a dining room with no walls. Let's put it all together, then let's get together. Let's do this. Earth Grow Mulch or Miracle Grow Garden Soil, your choice, just 4 for $10. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing.
Currently in our area, 76 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, sunshine and clouds mixed. High 86. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy. Low. Sunday, sunshine and clouds mixed. A stray thunderstorm is possible. High 87. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Okay, Kelly, so what do you think? When was the last time you had, on Memorial Day, rainfall in Atlanta, Georgia?
Well, let's see. I was actually here for all 3 of these years. Okay. 2001, 2006, or 2012. I'm going to go with the more recent one. C.
Okay, the answer is? Do you have an answer? Unbelievable. How about that? Kelly Cass, thank you very much. Thank you, thank you. Good times there. All right, guys, take a look at the forecast for Atlanta, Georgia. We go from the sunshine today. Enjoy it while you can because, man, sakes alive, look what's coming. Sunny clouds into Sunday. By Monday, thunder boomers in the picture with 86 degrees. A muggy weekend for you, no doubt, but still, folks, make the most of and remember the reason for the holiday itself. A live look at the nation's capital this morning. You're waking up to temperatures that are in the 50s. Clear day ahead with the temperatures that are going to, well, top out in the mid-70s. Always love this shot of the rotunda when it's under the scaffolding. It looks like it's made out of Legos. Really, really weird looking. So as we construct your forecast, let's show you what you can expect in places like Washington, D.C. and along parts of the I-35 or rather I-85 or 95 corridor. We take you from Ponte Vedra, clearing up the Florida coastline from Daytona Beach to Savannah, Fayetteville, Richmond, Philadelphia, and Boston. Got to tell you, it looks pretty darn good, although we do see some showers in parts of Florida. And notice as we make our way into Memorial Day itself, still some showers forming back into parts of the Tennessee Valley, the Ohio Valley, but for much of the eastern seaboard, still looks pretty darn good for the most part. Boston with a mix of sunshine and clouds. Philadelphia, New York, all the same story. It looks pretty good. All right, so for New York City, really looks like a royal flush. Plenty of sunshine on your Saturday, your Sunday. Notice the temperatures, though, the trend going up from the 60s to 79 degrees. We trade that for 81 degrees on Monday, but still pretty darn good. A mix of sun and clouds. Good times, New York. Let's send back to you, Kelly.
All right, not bad at all, Reynolds. Well, you know, severe weather in late April and early May has kept the first response team of America quite busy. Last week, they spent time in the Lone Star State helping one community recover from a tornado strike. Anaritas Rodriguez has their story.
Deep in East Texas cattle country, the small town of Van is easy to miss. But on May 10th, it was hit hard by an EF3 tornado.
I heard the sirens and then I heard the roar.
It was just destruction everywhere you went.
It's very sad to see this place like this. Very sad story, you know.
In an instant, 2 lives and more than 90 homes were lost to the tornado, but almost as fast, a legion of volunteers began to help their own.
Just the way we are. When somebody's in need, we come to try to help.
Van is a small town, but with a big heart.
While many came from nearby towns, the first response team arrived from Pennsylvania and immediately fired up their vast array of specialized rescue and recovery equipment.
There was so much heavy-duty work that needed to be done here. Huge trees fell to the ground, and they needed to be cut up and brought off the home sites.
One of those home sites belonged to Joan Britz, who had lived in Van for just 2 weeks. Many of her family keepsakes, packed in moving boxes before the tornado, were tossed far and wide.
When I met Joan, my heart really went out to her. We helped her go through the rubble and just simply find a few simple mementos.
These are memories and treasures that you've had. It's helping because I'm not having to live through every emotional attachment to each and everything. Y'all are an inspiration to me.
And during their deployment, Tad and his team found inspiration of their own in the tight-knit people of the Lone Star State.
Texas is made up of many small communities, and they don't just treat each other as neighbors, they all treat each other as family. And in this disaster, even though so much bad has taken place, so much good is happening.
They do good work there.
Absolutely. All right, folks, switching gears a bit. We've all heard the word or the phrase El Nino, but how many of you actually know what it is and how it impacts the U.S.?
Well, coming up, our expert, Dr. Greg Postel, is going to explain El Nino and kind of put it in layman's terms for you.
Absolutely, but first take a look at this. Myrtle Beach, how about that? You got the sun, the clouds, and temperatures in the 70s and 80s. Nice soft surf coming in, set to 2. Beautiful day out on the coast.
Yeah, the one good thing about getting up this early in the morning, you get to enjoy that sunrise, right?
Silver lining.
So serene, so peaceful, and yes, you've got a nice forecast out there as well. So get that spot early on the beach. It's going to crowd up probably pretty quickly.
I think you're right.
Responding by storm, powered by Ram trucks. Guts, glory, Ram.
I got red dirt stains on my boots and jeans, callous fingers from my guitar strings, wild like the wind in the tall pine trees. I got roots and I got wings.
Flour-pressed soap, homemade hot sauce, artisanal pickles, whatever those are. Well, we're glad handcrafted is finally cool. Because at Firestone Complete Auto Care, we've been handcrafting since 1926. Robots might build cars, but it takes human hands to keep them running right. And that's a guarantee, backed by our fixed right promise. Firestone Complete Auto Care. Whatever you drive, drive a Firestone.
Firestone Complete Auto Care. Maintenance, repairs, tires. Whatever you drive, drive a Firestone.
What do you think of when you think of the United States Postal Service? Exactly. That's what pushes us to deliver smarter,
Simpler.
faster, sleeker, earlier,
Fresher.
harder, farther, quicker, and yeah, even on Sundays. What's next? We'll show you.
Here we go. I told you, we're going to bust out of this drought.
Keep watching with us this morning because we're all watching history together.
Bahamas Paradise Cruise Line has exciting cruise rates for Florida residents and visitors on many cruise dates, with prices of just $149 for interior cabins and $169 for ocean view cabins. Your 2-night cruise includes delicious dining, great live shows, lots of fun, lots of pampering, and an exciting day in the Bahamas. Call 800-814-7100 to book your Bahamas cruise from just $149. 800-814-7100.
At Tire Kingdom,
get Memorial Day savings the entire month of May. Buy 3 tires, get 1 free instantly when you get them installed. Choose from Goodyear, Continental, Cooper, Nino, and more. Get your Memorial Day savings now at your neighborhood Tire Kingdom, home of the lowest tire price guarantee. Buy 3 tires, get 1 free. Tire Kingdom Service Centers. That's all you need.
.com.
Currently in our area, 76 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. High 86. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy. Low 78. Winds east at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Sunday, sunshine and clouds mixed. A stray thunderstorm is possible. High 87. Here's our 7-day outlook.
And welcome back, friends, neighbors, and assorted family pets. It is time to talk or bark like an expert. We're going to arm you with our geeky weather jargon that will surely impress your coworkers and classmates this week. Greg, we're talking about El Nino.
El Nino, yes, kind of a buzzword now, and it rightfully so, because it does impact our weather and weather patterns here in North America. Let's talk about what it is first. El Nino. It is a warming, essentially, of the Pacific Ocean in the tropical areas that lasts months. Now that, believe it or not, Reynolds, and we'll show in a little bit, can shift the weather patterns around the world. Yes, Reynolds. Imagine warming the waters on the other side of the world and having that have an impact.
Oh,
over
I'm imagining.
Our weather.
I am
You are.
imagining.
You've got a pretty big imagination. You
Absolutely.
get it.
And it's amazing the impact, the influence impacted by the amount of ocean warming.
Yeah, kind of the more warming is going, sometimes the greater the response is in the atmosphere. So let's now go to the next graphic and I can show you that how it happens. Let's go to the tropical Pacific. Let's take a tour, Reynolds. Let's go out here and talk about the tropical oceans that are sort of mostly impacted by El Nino here, where we will see above average temperatures. It's usually pretty warm here, but when El Nino kicks in, these water temperatures are, say, a couple of degrees warmer than they typically are.
Okay.
And what that does is when you have that extra fuel there for the atmosphere, you oftentimes get enhanced thunderstorm activity. Convection, thunderstorm activity, same thing. So when you have warmer waters, the boiler, right, kicks in. You start to see more bubbles. The atmosphere is kind of percolating a little bit more than usual out there. And that, imagine a lot of thunderstorms out here. Let me draw one up here. Imagine a big, tall thunderstorm out here. These guys out here are punching the jet stream, right? They're kind of thumping it. And you can see that downstream from that, you get this little ripple effect, little wave-like pattern. Boom, 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 like that. High, low. Imagine throwing a rock in a pond, and then you get that ripple effect downstream from there.
Very interesting. And then I guess the different branches, that's your conveyor belt in the atmosphere, isn't it?
Yeah, right. So you have that sort of that ripple effect in the atmosphere. And oftentimes with an El Nino pattern, you have a ridge in the west and a pretty strong subtropical jet in the southern part of the U.S., which in terms of impacts, on average, can lead to these kinds of conditions. So this is what El Nino is trying to do, but I want to point out that it really only accounts for a part of the puzzle. This is maybe 20% of the picture that you actually get. So you may get weather that's different than this, but El Nino is maybe a fifth of the puzzle.
Fascinating. Really, well, thanks for breaking that down.
It does help. The El Nino does matter for us.
Very interesting. Hey, folks, take a look at this. From 5 states, from Texas to Missouri, well, they're going to be dealing with some rough stuff. El Nino aside, serious flood threat, more than 20 million people in the crosshairs. We're going to let you know where mandatory evacuations are occurring this morning and who could see the wettest month ever.
Next.
Expected wait time, 55 minutes. Your call is important to us. Thank you for your patience.
In the nation, we know how it feels when you aren't treated like a priority. We do things differently.
We'll take care of it.
We put members first.
Thank you.
Join the nation.
Nationwide is on your side.
What's this?
A box. It takes worn out things and makes them better. Want to see?
Yeah. Cool. What else you got?
It's our biggest breakthrough yet. We're taking worn-out batteries and making them into something strong. New Energizer Eco Advanced, world's first long-lasting battery made with 4% recycled batteries.
Success starts with the right connections. Introducing Miracle Grow Liquid Feed Universal Feeder. Turn any hose connection into a clever feeding system for a well-fed garden. Miracle Grow. Life starts here.
We got the new Temperflex, and it's got the spring and bounce of a traditional mattress. You sink into it, but you can still move around.
And now that I have a Timberflex, I can finally get a good night's sleep.
I flop down on the bed and it's just like, oh, this is perfect.
Wherever you put your body, it just supports you.
Like little support elves are just holding you where it needs.
I can sleep now through the night.
Change your sleep. Change your life. Change to Tempur-Pedic.
The FDA issued a public notice to doctors and patients concerning serious injuries caused by transvaginal mesh, bladder mesh, pelvic sling, and bladder sling. Please call now if you had one of these devices implanted in the last 5 years. You may be entitled to a cash award. If you had a transvaginal mesh, bladder mesh, pelvic sling, or bladder sling in the last 5 years,
Please call 1-866-686-7952 now.
Where you get your weather matters.
This is a large and dangerous tornado.
That's why we get real local the moment you need it.
We are live in Oklahoma, Arkansas, Mississippi, Florida.
Real accurate.
This is round one of the severe storms that are coming through.
From real experts on the ground.
That is a gust front for you right there in Dusty, Texas. Wow.
Where you get your weather matters.
This is basically what makes the Weather Channel
Keep the Weather Channel on.
Here at the Weather Channel.
The Weather Channel is out in full force today.
Only the Weather Channel.
And a very good morning to you in Dallas, Texas. Still pretty dark out there. It is 71 degrees. We've got a warning for those of you living near the Trinity River. Already at 8 feet this morning, by the way. We're expecting up over 2 inches of rain to fall between now and Tuesday, so that could cause some problems, and that's why we are under a flash flood watch right through the weekend, and early next week we're still going to be watching out for more rain. In fact, here is your forecast taking you hour by hour. We've got the clouds already this morning. Muggy temperatures in the 70s. And then by later on this morning and into the afternoon hours, that's when we have a better shot at seeing some of the heavy downpours, the frequent lightning. Things are going to have you running inside with your Memorial Day barbecue items. And here's a look at our radar where it's showing quiet conditions right now from Dallas all the way up towards Oklahoma City. But we do have some storms back toward the Panhandle. In fact, just to the west of Amarillo, a severe thunderstorm warning in effect. And these storms are moving pretty quickly toward the north at about 60 miles per hour. So if you're in Oldham County, you're under that severe warning until 5:15 local time. There could be some quarter-size hail, perhaps some damaging wind gusts with that as well. We'll watch that severe threat head toward the east, right along the I-35 corridor, I-20 involved in this too. So Abilene, heads up for you guys. And then as we head into the day tomorrow, we're going to be watching Dallas down towards Riverwalk in San Antonio. We've got the red on the map here, and then just general thunderstorms as we head towards Memorial Day on Monday, heading toward the east into parts of the Tennessee Valley, all the way down toward the French Quarter in New Orleans. Reynolds.
All right, Kelly, thanks so much. Well, it certainly looks like it's going to be a rough time for parts of the central and southern plains as we go through the Memorial Day weekend. But for other parts of the country, I'll tell you, conditions in some places are just going to be spectacular, especially for the East Coast. Saturday, 69 degrees in New York City. Chicago, partly cloudy with 78 degrees. Can you believe some snow in the Tetons? Yeah, Central Rockies could definitely deal with some snowfall from about 7,000 feet up. You're going to see it really forming in high elevation. Into Sunday we go. Scattered showers top to bottom from the U.S.-Canadian border, cleared into the Big Bend of Texas. Still dry in the east, nice and cloudy for you out towards the west. And then by Monday, looks like more rainfall moving into the Ohio Valley and into the Gulf Coast.
We're going to talk more about that rain in Texas coming back.
It starts with a subtle wave, then builds into soft fingers, lifting sails and spirits. Nothing makes us feel more alive than a summer breeze. Drifting with us on the water, chasing us through the trees, and playing along the whole day. In the Great Lakes Bay region, the summer breeze is blowing. Where it's headed is pure Michigan. Your trip begins at Michigan.org.
At the Barrett-Jackson Auto Auction, cars like these can go for a cool million easy. How? It starts with the details, and nobody does details like new Barrett-Jackson Premium Auto Care. Liquid wax, formulated for a Barrett-Jackson quality finish with advanced polymer technology for unbeatable protection and a residue-free shine, making your car look like a cool million by the people who know cars that look like a cool million. Try new Barrett-Jackson Premium Liquid Car Wax. Available at Walmart.
I take these out to put in Dr. Scholl's Active Series insoles. They help reduce wear and tear on my legs because they have triple zone protection and reduce shock by 40%. So I feel like I'm ready to take on anything.
Are you a man over 40 and feeling tired, losing muscle, have romantic drive? Then you need Ageless Male, with an ingredient clinically shown to increase free testosterone levels. Ageless Male is now available at these fine retailers.
Currently in our area, 76 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. High 86, winds east-northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 78, winds east at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Sunday, sunshine and clouds mixed. A stray thunderstorm is possible, high 87. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Flash flood watch is now up for parts of 10 states, including most of Texas and Oklahoma. I'm meteorologist Mike Seidel on the edge of the flooding here in Wichita Falls, Texas. We'll have the latest on the river and the setup and how much rain falls this holiday weekend.
Plus, for the 7th weekend in a row, we're tracking severe weather. Hail, high winds, and isolated tornadoes and flash flooding are all possible. We will let you know who's in the storm zone this weekend.
And as millions of you hit the roads this holiday weekend, we'll show you the places where Mother Nature may delay your trip or have you going to that Plan B altogether.
Hey, you know, Memorial Day does mark the unofficial start to summer, and as we ease into next week, we've got a bit of a heat wave greeting you with open arms. That story and many more coming up right now on AMHQ Weekend. And it's still coming down like a hack. It's a really big sack of hammers. The rain just pounding down in places like Corpus Christi, Texas, where you've had the rain. It's caused the flooding. And this may have been, can you believe, the wettest May on record, picking up more than 12 inches of rainfall. For drivers driving through floodwaters, obviously it's not working. Just another reminder to turn around and don't drown. Sakes alive, folks. What a weekend it's going to be. Hello and welcome to AMHQ Weekend. It is Saturday, May 23rd. I'm Reynolds Wolf.
And I'm Kelly Cass here alongside not just Reynolds for the first time ever, by the way, getting to work with Reynolds, but also Dr. Greg Postel. Lots going on. We want to get you up to speed on how this Memorial Day weekend is going to unfold.
Absolutely. Should we dive right into the big picture and take a look at that?
Yes. Yes, we should.
All right. Well, we already have the storms that are building up across the southwest, guys. So unfortunately, look where it's going, right where we could see more flooding rain.
It's hard to believe. I mean, this area really has had no let up whatsoever. They're oversaturated. You got more rainfall on the way. Some places maybe 8 inches of rain.
That's a lot of rain. But you know, along with that, we have the threat for severe weather, which includes the heavy rain, high winds, hail, and maybe even some tornadoes. Stay tuned for that.
Seeing those things pop up, we have something else popping up. That's going to be the temperatures, Kelly. Take a look along the eastern seaboard, even including back to your old romping grounds in New York.
Hudson Valley. I'm a valley girl.
There you go.
We've got some heat on the map here. 10 to 25 degrees above average, all the way over towards Boston, where it seemed like the winter that would never end. Now we've got the heat.
There you go, folks. All right, man, take a look at this video out of Wichita Falls, Texas.
Yeah, this is a serious problem, you guys. Major flooding across Wichita Falls, forcing hundreds of people to be evacuated from their homes. We've got our Mike Seidel live there this morning. And good morning to you, Mike. I know we've got another round of rain on the way. So what are people doing there to prepare for yet more flooding?
Well, that's the forecast for the next couple of days, certainly from this afternoon through midday Sunday here in Wichita Falls. We're about 140 miles northwest of Dallas-Fort Worth. In this neighborhood, this is Tanglewood. This area, this lower hollow area, has all been evacuated, and the power has been turned off. In fact, they evacuated on Thursday because back on Thursday, the forecast crest was on Friday. Now the crest has been pushed back several more days. In fact, we were out here yesterday. See the 30-mile-per-hour speed limit sign? That's the little bridge between the canal and the river, which goes behind these homes. This was all dry yesterday, and we're watching the water this morning creep up very, very slowly. This is not a rapid increase. Preps yesterday, just around the corner, they were filling the sandbags. We've seen this time and time again in Fargo. They haven't done it here in a long time because they've been in this devastating 4-year drought. Now, here's the crux of the situation. How much more rain do we get? Here's the latest forecast. Here's the thinking. Here's the river stage. Right now, we're up just above 20 feet, which puts us just into the moderate flood stage. But we're expecting major flooding. But look at the crest, not until Tuesday morning at 23.1. So that's going to get this water up another 3 feet. And certainly the homes to my left, screen right, are going to have water in them, at least in the back, because that's where the river is. Over here, we'll show you later how high the water got up in 2007. That was the record flood. The forecast again, this afternoon through midday Sunday, good chance of rain and thunderstorms. We could have several more inches of rainfall. And then by next week, we break this pattern and we get into some drier weather and warmer weather. Yesterday, Kelly, only 61, a record low max, average high mid-80s, and we'll be back there after the holiday weekend. Kelly?
All right, Mike, nice to see that pattern will finally change for us, but it is good that we finally got the rain to make up for the drought over the past couple of years. We'll continue to check in with Mike throughout the day. Of course, with the flash flood watch in effect, not just for Wichita Falls, but we've got Dallas, Oklahoma City involved in all this, and it's because of all the rain that we've had since May 1st. Some places up to 2 feet of rainfall. So unfortunately, the ground is already saturated. The water has nowhere to go but onto the streets and into your homes. And flood warnings remain in effect along the Red River here, and flash flood watches are showing up in the green as well. So turn around, don't drown. There could be some street closures as we get some of this heavy rain going. There's a look at how much rain we've seen since May 1st. And when you get that hot pink on the map and that lighter shade of pink, that's where I'm talking about, close to 2 feet of rainfall since May 1st. And for many of you, it's your wettest May on record. In fact, let's talk about Oklahoma City. We're in the number 3 spot right now. Again, May's not over yet, but so far we picked up 14.46 inches and already into the top 5. You can see some of these long-standing records that go back to the 1930s, and we've got rain already starting up here in the western parts of Texas. And already, guys, we've seen severe weather popping up west of Amarillo.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I mean, we're already getting cranked up early this morning. People aren't even in the first cup of coffee, and still it's coming down. Already very heavy in parts of Texas.
Yeah, and you know what? We're looking at the radar. It's not just heavy rain, which is a big problem. It's the high winds, too, now coming into the region. This is the area that we're going to be focusing our attention today overall. This is where we think severe weather is most likely, those areas in red. But right now, we have a really bad cluster of thunderstorms moving through the panhandle of Texas. And check this out. We've got a severe thunderstorm warning just to the west-northwest of Amarillo for Oldham County until 5:15 a.m. Central Time. Now, judging by the shape of this line of storms, you see how it's got that backwards C right in there? There's another bowing structure right here. I'm thinking there's some pretty high winds in there, and aha! There are. This is the Doppler velocity now that I'm using not to look at rotation in the storm, but to assess how strong the winds are, and they are over 60 miles per hour in the direction right at the radar near Amarillo. So there's some high winds in that cluster of storms moving across the region. And with a trough in the jet stream out west like this, guys, that is the stage for more severe weather later on today as what I call the upper level forcing kicks in. The atmosphere is going to be lifted right out ahead of this circulation aloft, and that over a warm, moist air mass already in place is going to lead to the development of thunderstorms. And as we go through the day, you can see that the high plains yet again are going to be rainy and stormy with all modes of severe weather possible. Kelly and Reynolds, back to you.
Goodness. The places that absolutely don't need the rainfall, they're getting in buckets over the next couple of days.
Severe weather already this early in the morning.
Absolutely.
And just ahead, one of the most fascinating aspects of severe weather.
That's right. We're talking lightning strikes, and our Jim Cantore takes us inside the bolt with a view you've never seen before.
Let's do this. Let's build a dining room with no walls. Let's put it all together, then let's get together. Let's do this. Earth Grow Mulch or Miracle Grow Garden Soil, your choice, just 4 for $10. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing.
I've got plans, and this is my baby right now. So it's just not the right time to get pregnant. That's why I chose Skyla. Skyla is the small, flexible IUD that prevents pregnancy for up to 3 years. So for me, there are no daily pills or monthly refills. I got my Skyla placed in just a few minutes at my OBGYN's office. And if I want to try to get pregnant, I can get it removed whenever I want.
If you have a pelvic infection, get infections easily, or have certain cancers, don't use Skyla. Less than 1% of users get a serious infection called PID. If you have persistent pelvic or stomach pain, or if Skyla comes out, tell your doctor. Skyla may attach or go through the uterus and cause other problems. Pregnancy while using Skyla is uncommon, but can be life-threatening and may result in loss of pregnancy or fertility. Ovarian cysts may occur, but usually disappear. Bleeding and spotting may increase in the first 3 to 6 months and remain irregular. Periods over time usually become shorter, lighter, or may stop. Skyla does not protect against HIV or STDs.
Talk to your OBGYN about making the move to Skyla.
Check with your insurance to find out if you can get Skyla at no cost.
Introducing the first ever gummy multivitamin from Centrum. A complete and tasty new way to support your energy, immunity, and metabolism like never before. Centrum Multi-Gummies. See gummies in a whole new light.
The Weather Channel's most watched original program,
and it just hit us,
is back.
This is just the beginning of what's to come.
Currently in our area, 76 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. High 86. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 78. Winds east at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Sunday, sunshine and clouds mixed. A stray thunderstorm is possible. High 87. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Where you get your weather matters.
This is a large and dangerous tornado.
Real local.
We are live in Oklahoma.
Real accurate.
This one's going to have some precipitation with it.
Real experts.
Wow, that's the leading edge of the thunderstorm.
This is basically what makes the Weather Channel
Keep the Weather Channel on.
Here at the Weather Channel.
The Weather Channel is out in full force today.
Only the Weather Channel.
All right, guys, you could not ask for a better holiday weekend along North Carolina's Crystal Coast. We've got plenty of sunshine, not just today, but all the way through Monday. Temperatures hovering right around 80 degrees, and those beaches, they're going to fill up pretty quick, so make sure you get that spot. And Emerald Isle is no exception today. The beach strand bracing for thousands right through Memorial Day Monday. We're talking more than 1 million North Carolinians are expected to hit the road this weekend, the most in a decade. Reynolds.
1 million. That's a lot of Tar Heels.
Yeah.
Gotta love that. All right, folks, let's go live to Savannah, Georgia. Right now along the beautiful Atlantic coast. We've got a great morning. Sun's coming up. There's the beautiful Savannah River. Temperatures are going to be in the mid-80s today. Massive crowds also expected in that great city. Happening at 9 this morning, the Memorial Day commemoration. It's going on at Fort McAllister Park to pay tribute to our patriots who served with cannon and musket firings. Yeah. Should be good stuff. I'll tell you what, it's going to be a firecracker of a weekend for you in a lot of places. We've got the temperatures that are on the upswing, but the sky conditions really could not be better, at least on Saturday and Sunday. You've got the sunshine, the mix of sun and clouds into Sunday, but we trade that on Monday for boom, some thunderstorms, hit and miss variety, mind you, that should pop up by midday or into the afternoon hour. It's mainly going to be the sea breeze stuff that's going to fire up, and the storms that do form should not last that long. So that's certainly some good news for you in terms of that. In terms of the warmer conditions, well, the reason why we're going to deal with it, all the orange stuff, is because the jet stream well to the north, the big ridge developing, and with that ridge, well, you've got the area of high pressure, which is going to kick in more of a southerly flow. So you're going to feel a bit more humid to go along with the warmer temperatures. Not always the best pairing, but that's what you got. And take a look at the temperatures from Richmond to Raleigh to Atlanta to Columbia. Mainly some 80s. By Tuesday, we're going into the 90s up in Richmond out by the James River. But please know, with the high humidity, it's going to feel warmer than 91, maybe even into the upper 90s, that kind of thing. So, yep, it's like as though summer's here quickly. And then notice as we get into Wednesday midweek forecast, we're talking some 80s, some 90s. Columbia, South Carolina, wow, 91. Kelly, let's send it back over to you.
Yeah, 'tis the season, Reynolds and Nino. During the spring and summer months, heat is a key ingredient for the development of thunderstorms and lightning. And in case you missed it, earlier this week, the Weather Channel debuted a new way of demonstrating just how lightning forms. This is something you'll only see right here on the Weather Channel. Again, there's no other place in the world that will bring you this kind of visual and technical analysis. Here's Jim Cantori with the anatomy of a lightning strike.
Every second, somewhere on the earth, you get a lightning strike. All right? You're talking about something that is no wider than a penny. So how do we get this charge that builds up in the cloud that eventually leads to a 100 million volt lightning strike? Well, let's talk about this. Obviously, air rises, it cools, it condenses, you get clouds building up. And what's really interesting is what's in those clouds. You've got liquid, you've got ice, you've got grapple, and all these things contain charges. And these charges actually separate. So if you look way up into the envelope cloud, we're way up here, 50, 60,000 feet, you've got all these positively charged particles, and then at the base of the cloud, they're negatively charged. Down toward the ground, we're positively charged. 75 to 85% of lightning actually happens in the cloud. All right? 75 to 85%. So how do we get that negative charge and that positive charge to break the insulation that lies between the base of the cloud and the surface of the earth? Well, here's what we think happens. This isn't perfect, but we think this is what happens. When you start to see the precipitation fall from the cloud base, those negative charged particles start to come south or out of the cloud. They call that a step leader. But what's happening at the same time is those positive charges, which are on the top of homes, trees, humans, if you're the tallest object out there, actually come up as an upward streamer, positively charged. When those two break the insulation, you get a lightning bolt. You clear the channel, and a lot of times you'll see multiple flashes within that channel, and that's just essentially the electrical discharge going on. That is the anatomy of a lightning strike. One of the most dangerous things out there in the world. It comes without notice, so that's why when thunder roars, we want you to go indoors.
Man, he drives those graphics really well. That's some cool stuff. Absolutely. And speaking of driving, hitting the road this weekend? Well, if you are, you could run into some severe weather, and we're going to let you know that when is the best time to get on those roads. Plus this, Kelly.
Yeah, we're testing your knowledge this morning. It's early on a holiday weekend, but if you're up and joining us, how about this? A temperature of 100 degrees has been recorded on Memorial Day in Wichita, Kansas. What do you think? True or false?
You're going with true, and I'm going to agree with you on that.
It's the plains, right? We have extreme weather in Wichita.
Absolutely. Folks, we got extreme weather today. We're going to be talking about what you can expect in terms of rough stuff, including the flooding. It's going to be widespread across the central and southern plains. We'll get you prepared. Coming up in just a few moments, you're watching AMHQ Weekend.
Joseph A. Bank presents the Memorial Day Sale. Purchase one suit and receive 3 additional suits free. Plus, all long-sleeve traveler shirts are now 3 for $99. Sale ends Monday. Joseph A. Bank, the new tradition since 1905.
Why do we do it? Why do we spend every waking moment thinking about people? Why are we so committed to keeping you connected? Why combine performance with a conscience? Why innovate for a future without accidents? Why do any of it? Why do all of it? Because if it matters to you, it's everything to us. The XC60 crossover from Volvo. Lease the well-equipped Volvo XC60 today. Visit your local Volvo showroom for details.
No artificial flavors, colors, sweeteners, preservatives, and no artificial smiles. Because clean dressings taste better.
Glad you're with us right here on AMHQ, the whole team.
Right, either go all in or just tap out.
Here we go. I told you, we're going to bust out of this drought.
As we say, keep watching with us this morning because we're all watching history happen together.
Xfinity sales professionals are always on the go, meeting new people every day. They're helping families get the latest Xfinity products and services. And they're making customers happy. Jumpstart your career with the best sales training in the industry. Great benefits like discounts on your own Xfinity services and the potential for high earnings. Have what it takes? Apply today and see what doors open for you.
Mom and Dad told us they had just made their funeral and burial pre-arrangements. We thought they already had taken care of that. When we learned it was through Beth Israel and Eternal Light, we knew everything would be handled in the most caring and professional way. We realized it would be one of the most difficult days of our lives. It inspired my husband and me to make our own pre-arrangements so the burden wouldn't fall on our children when that day comes. It's not an easy thing to think about, but I'm so glad we did.
.com. The Weather Channel's most watched original program, and it just hit us, is back.
This is just the beginning of what's to come.
Stay tuned for your Memorial Day Local on the 8s, brought to you by Lowe's. Never stop improving.
Kick summer off right with great Memorial Day deals at Lowe's. Like $10 off all paint and primer and stain and sealant in one via online or mail-in rebate. Plus 5 bags of premium mulch for $10. So hurry into Lowe's now for big summer savings.
Constant Contact gives you all the best email marketing tools, like newsletters and event invites. So whether you run a small business or a nonprofit, you can connect with, well, everyone. Try email marketing free at ConstantContact.com.
Kick summer off right with great Memorial Day deals at Lowe's. Like $10 off all paint and primer and stain and sealant in one via online or mail-in rebate. Plus 5 bags of premium mulch for $10. So hurry into Lowe's now for big summer savings.
Currently in our area, 75 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. High 86. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy. Low 78. Winds east at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Sunday, sunshine and clouds mixed. A stray thunderstorm is possible. High 87. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Okay, so we had a question, and yes, we have answers. What do we have for the good people? What do we have, Kelly?
Is it true or false that Wichita had 100 degrees on Memorial Day? And the answer is true. In fact, it happened 3 times, 1913, 1934, and 1962. That was quite a while ago, though.
Wow. Well, so 3 different times to choose. Probably not going to be quite as warm this time because of the rain cooled air and thunderstorms in the picture, heavy rain. At the same time, Ken will have the chance of flooding for much of the Central Plains.
It's definitely going to be a lot cooler courtesy of the clouds and rain there in the southern plains. But what a weekend to spend in the great outdoors where we do have the decent conditions. As we look live at 2 cities, we're looking at Key West, Florida. Beautiful weather. Maybe a lot of families camping at Long Key State Park.
Oh, wow, that is beautiful. And then you've got Myrtle Beach on the other side. A little bit of haze out there, but should be a fairly nice day, waking into just a beautiful sunrise. Beautiful stuff out there. And Syracuse, we're going to Syracuse next, I believe, home of the Orangemen. Here's a great shot that we have for you in campus. Oh, moms and dads, you send your kids here. Trust me, they never go to M Street. All they do is go to class, and they just study as hard as they can. There's no playing ever at school. Hey, freeze warning, no playing there. It's in effect. You might get some frost to form in parts of the upstate region. Low temperatures could affect your plants. Got to be careful there. Luckily, though, we're going to see some changes in the forecast. Highs going up to 65 degrees, but certainly a cool start out there. You notice those temperatures with the blue. That's what's going down. Just the opposite. Things warming up. All right, let's send it over to Kelly and Chicago.
Yeah, we're going to take a look at the Midwest now, where Chicago, look at that pretty blue sky you've got going on. It is a chilly start, or should I say cool start to your weekend. Temperatures in the mid-50s now, but we are going to warm things up to a high of 78 degrees. If you're heading out to Navy Pier, of course, it is Memorial Day weekend, where we honor our servicemen who have died for our country. And if you're going to be out there for the parades and the ceremonies, it looks like a decent weekend overall. We've got that mix of sun and clouds today. Your White Sox are at home as well, by the way. Then clouding up on Sunday, and then here we go on Memorial Day itself. We had that chance of seeing some hit or miss showers and thunderstorms. We got the moisture that's going to be in play across the Central Plains today, all the way from the Gulf of Mexico. That moisture travels far, and as a matter of fact, that's going to increase the humidity and that chance for some downpours and even the chance for severe weather as we get this trough lifting out into the plains. We've got the red on the map from eastern Colorado through western Kansas, all the way down into Oklahoma and Texas. This is your forecast for today. Kansas City heading out to the plaza. Looks good today, but the storms are going to be knocking on your door, probably arriving during the day tomorrow. Showers and thunderstorms up 35 towards Des Moines, even Minneapolis. Chicago, so far so good, but it's really Monday when we start to see that chance for some thunderstorms. Not just Chicago, but Indianapolis, over towards Detroit, all across the Ohio Valley and down toward the Tennessee Valley as well. Again, some of these storms could turn severe, but you still got to watch out for that lightning, which is very dangerous, of course. So when thunder roars, get indoors. Here in Kansas City, your high of 73 on Sunday. Monday looks dry, and then back to work on Tuesday with some hit or miss storms. Reynolds?
Wow, a lot of rain in that forecast. You know, when it comes to rain, rain is going to impact so many people, millions of you this holiday weekend. And we know that a typical raindrop can fall from more than a mile up in the sky. But have you ever thought about how fast it falls before it hits your umbrella or even your head? Well, in this edition of Brainstorm, we examine the speed of rain.
A raindrop's journey to the ground begins high in the sky when water vapor in a cloud condenses, turning to liquid. It then starts to cling to tiny atmospheric dust particles and forms a minuscule water droplet. As this droplet moves through the cloud, it consumes other tiny droplets that have formed in just the same way. This droplet then grows as it moves, and when it reaches 4/1000ths of a single milligram in weight, it graduates to raindrop status, finally heavy enough to begin its descent to the ground. And as our raindrop falls, it reaches what's called terminal velocity. That's when the force of the air resistance pushing upwards balances with the force of gravity pulling down. It's the maximum speed a falling object can actually reach. And in case you were wondering, that speed varies with the size of the object. In this case, a typical raindrop growing to about 0.08 of an inch in diameter reaches terminal velocity at just 15 miles per hour. That's 8 times slower than the terminal velocity of a skydiver. And if a raindrop is smaller, it will fall even slower. During a drizzle, those drops are about the size of a single grain of salt, and they reach terminal velocity at just 5 miles per hour. That's the same speed as a light jog for you or me. It's a speed so slow that you might even see those drops moving upwards if caught in an updraft. So to put the falling speeds in perspective, the average snowflake falls at 2 to 3 miles per hour, while heavier hail, measuring an inch in diameter, can travel at more than 40 miles an hour. And now you've been brainstormed. Sam Champion, the Weather Channel.
We've seen too many of those raindrops adding up in Texas.
Oh, have we ever? We really have. That's going to be some nasty stuff, because we're going to see that situation in Texas get even worse, because more rain is on the way. We're going to let you know who's got the greatest risk for flooding.
We already have flash flood watches in effect for many of you, and even river flood warnings in effect too. That street right there looks like a river.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, and that scene's probably going to be repeated all around the central and southern plains as we make our way through the midday hours. Certainly some effects of strong wind this morning that Dr. Ray was talking about a short while ago. We've got more coming up. You're watching AMHQ Weekend. We will see you in just a few moments.
Right.
Never.
Guaranteed.
You picked a beautiful ring. Thank you. We're never having kids.
I love it here.
We are never moving to the suburbs. We are never getting one of those. We're never having another kid.
I'm pregnant.
I'm never letting go.
For all the nevers in life, State Farm is there.
Okay, guys, we've got 2 cars here, and we're gonna start watching a movie in the Chevy Malibu.
He's flying!
Okay, guys, pause the movie. We're gonna watch the rest of it in the Toyota Camry. Hit play again.
What happened? You can't watch the movie. No network connection.
Who wants to go back in the Chevy Malibu?
Let's go! Let's go.
Chevrolet, the first and only car company to bring built-in 4G LTE Wi-Fi to cars, trucks, and crossovers.
This is cool. Yeah.
1 can of Bush's beans. Home style sounds good, but country style not without its charms. Brown sugar hickory? Who says no to hickory? New sweet heat? Sure. There are no rules here.
Bush's beans. What's your favorite flavor?
Let's make your home feel like this. Let's measure this and how to that. And then let's get down to it. Let's do this.
Marazzi Montagna wood look tile flooring is now just $199 a square foot. The Home Depot. More saving. More doing. Need new tires? Right now at Pep Boys, when you get 3 Falcon, Cooper, or Hankook tires, you get the 4th tire free instantly. Plus, get no interest and paid in full within 12 months on your Pep Boys credit card. Trust the boys to get you there.
Ready? Ready. Steady. Go!
It's more than a movie. It's now a ride. Let's go! Fast and Furious, supercharged. Ride it at Universal Studios Hollywood.
Currently in our area, 75 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. High 86. Winds east-northeast at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy. Low. Sunday, sunshine and clouds mixed. A stray thunderstorm is possible. High 87.